Tune in right now, listen, find out your favorite stitch. Fashion with the Knit+Sip.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back to the Knit+Sip podcast. I'm Kate.
And I'm Courtney Abood.
And Leeza is in Miami this weekend. We had a little hiatus from the podcast with the store move, which we are excited to show you around the new store today after Courtney and I talk about a few fun things. We're bringing back the 80's today.
Love the 80's, bringing it back.
So after our little short talk, we'll show you around the new store. And yes, we're excited to be back, and Leeza will be back next week. So we appreciate Courtney. I have a banana clip. That's what I was just.
Yeah.
We'll
so in honor of the 80's, I'm sporting my banana clip style here. So if
turn your head. It
my
looks
goal
so
is
cute on you.
definitely among bringing back the colors of neon, we're going to bring back the hairstyles of the 80's too. So if you haven't seen a banana clip, here is one. Kate was a little hesitant, didn't know how to open it up, but those of us out there that are in the age range where this was the style of our teens, you'll recognize this.
And I did figure out it opens from both sides, so you can't fail at a banana clip. So that was fun to learn.
Very versatile in the 80's.
Yes, and Courtney will show us how it works.
Yeah,
I didn't know how it worked. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, you just gotta open this sucker up. If you don't know, see, it opens up. Side. Yeah, you put it around your neck. You just pull that sucker up, get it up there, and look. I mean, it just pulls it up, and it gives you a nice little mane look. But you do have to, in the 80's, curl your hair use a little aqua net to be able to get that hair up to the height that you need it to be. So, yeah.
So, do you want to tell everyone what you're wearing?
Yeah, so I thought these colors look great for the 80's. This is the Rocket Tee that I just finished, and the colors are called Trapeze. So, did a little bit of trim in the orange here to give it a little bit of a nice finish there, but thought that it looked great for our 80's podcast.
It's mono sock yarn, so they had some self-striping sock yarn, and Courtney loved it and said, what can I do with this other than socks? And we decided it would make an awesome rocket tee, and it did. It's really cool.
In full disclosure, I've only been knitting a year, so basically I saw this great yarn and asked Kate, find something that I can actually make. So those of you out there that may not be expert knitters, this is a great pattern. Tanis
Fiber Arts.
Arts, Rocket Tee. So if you're looking to start something for the summertime, this is a great pattern to use.
And our friend Beth, who's sitting here but doesn't want to be on camera, has made 2 of them. And she did, this is really fun, by the way, to as a prop. It. I don't think I could use it in my hair, but it's really fun to hold. She has made 2 and ended up doing one with just make ones instead of the detailing. So, and then scrapped the detailing down the sides with the Central Double Decrease yarn over. So if you are looking to make the pattern kind of just a little bit more beginner, I'm sure there's someone who can help you figure out, how to make the raglans, not the yarn over piece. Mm-hmm. Or you can do that piece, because that's a great thing to learn, and then just scrap the detailing down the side if you don't like the whole yarn over Central Double Decrease.
Which is what I did. So I did do the yarn overs for the detailing around the arms, but I went ahead and skipped that piece for around the bodice area. And I too am starting my second Rocket Tee. Decided to go with a solid yarn color look. I've apparently loved it so much I'm going for my next one.
And it's a fingering on a size 5 needle. So if you are someone who has scrap yarn left over from socks or something, it's a great scrap yarn sock project. Or I've got scrap yarn left over from Luminous tees. Most of it I used up on my stripe pipe because I held double, but it's a good scrap project because you can stripe and do. So one of Beth's was just scrap yarn striping that she kind of put together, which is really fun.
Yeah.
So, and I am wearing my Room to Bloom sweater without the embroidery yet. So I just finished it this morning. It's not blocked. Courtney's isn't blocked either, so we'll get there. But it will be blocked, and then after blocking, I'm going to start the embroidery. So I'll be excited to show you guys that piece of it. And once I get it down, I'm sure I'll film doing some of it, and we can see that coming together too. I'm really excited. If you are more of a beginner looking for your first sweater, Rocket Tee is a great choice, but the Room to Bloom also, it was a really quick win. So it has no short rows. So it starts at the back and does some basic shaping across the back. You pick up for each shoulder, it's a drop shoulder. So that would be a typical drop shoulder construction. And it was such a, like I said, it felt like a quick win. And it is either just DK or I ended up holding a fingering and a light fingering together. A few of us went down a needle size. We wanted a little bit tighter fabric than what the 8 was creating. And also I was off gauge. I actually swatched. I know you guys know that I don't really do that. I have made 5 swatches in 2026. I'm done for the entire rest of the year. That's it.
I personally have never made a swatch.
Yeah.
I just go for it and just do whatever Kate tells me to.
It looks great. It completely fits. So it looks really good. And so I mostly did it for the benefit of others who were trying to choose yarn and wanted to see what different, fiber contents made up, the look of for this sweater. So I was, others can inspire me to do things I wouldn't necessarily do.
That's right. There's lots of girls actually lately. They've been doing the Room to Bloom and these beautiful spring bright colors. And especially this weekend with the weather getting better, it was a perfect introduction to nice warm weather.
Oh, yes. So, I have found it a little funny, though, because I do feel like it's a split between people who are like, this is a spring sweater and are doing spring colors, but then a ton of people who just love the color that it was done in. And they're like, I want that sweater, which is like if you look at the pattern, it's like a rust color and it's really beautiful. But I've been equally fascinated by the people who are like, I want exactly
yes, it's hard once you see it done and you admire it. It's sometimes hard to switch your viewpoint to a different color.
It is, and it was done beautifully in that. So I am going to do my embroidery in a different color. A lot of people are keeping theirs the same color as their sweater, but I have a slightly lighter pink than this it's like a pinkish white that I'll do the embroidery in. So I'm really excited to get started on that. And I haven't decided the pattern. I'm not going to do in the pattern. She has some down by her hip and then up on her shoulder, but I wanted to French tuck the sweater. And so I don't want anything down closer to the bottom. So I'm trying to figure out something either on the sides or, kind of an offset. So we'll see what I do, but I know you guys will see that progress as well.
Yeah, the website has some great pictures of that sweater and shows just like the beauty of that, like more the monochrome color look and really sophisticated looking.
Yeah. So it's a great pattern to start with. And she does a great job. So she has several patterns. So like stripe pipe, this one that are kind of that basic drop shoulder construction that are good interest sweaters. So if anyone is getting into knitting, these are some good quick wins.
Absolutely.
Both the Rocket Tee and the Room to Bloom. And you don't have to do the embroidery on it. So, if that's not for you, it's a great, just kind of vanilla sweater to make.
Stripe pipe was a great sweater if you haven't done that for beginners. So before I even had a year of experience under my belt, it was a great sweater for me to start for. So, and a good like first quick win for doing a sweater. So if you're looking to start that, that's I think a great pattern to use.
Yes, definitely. So you showed us that you're working on your second Rocket Tee.
Got my Rocket Tee here. And Kate has always been fascinated by my
so we want to show you
by my knitting style. Would you call this English knitting, but weird?
Well, it's not weird. It's just
we're calling it the Courtney style because apparently this is not known to others.
So Courtney throws, which would be English,
right?
But she throws holding the yarn in her left hand, which is so interesting that I think Courtney may have been the first person I saw do that, but now I've seen several people who are learning to do it, and I'm like, great, that's perfect. So it completely works. It was just one of those things where I had to look at it a few times and go, oh yeah, okay, that works.
It works.
Completely.
It's weird, but it works. So,
it's not weird. It's great.
I mean,
it's just.
Yeah, so for me, I'm throwing with that left hand, and to me, it's just a whole lot. Yeah, it's a whole lot easier for me when I'm throwing with my left hand. So we call that the Courtney method.
The Courtney method.
And we had someone in here in the store last week who was kind of struggling with the process of knitting and getting their fingers in the right spot. And so
holding the needles.
yeah, so she was kind of looking around at everyone's style. This is kind of how I discovered that the Courtney method was so unique. So but yeah, so for some people this might be something that helps you out be able to knit. I didn't even know I was doing it differently, I'll be honest with you. So, but for me,
I think it's great. I think it works really well.
I can knit pretty quickly with it.
You do an awesome job, and your tension's good and everything. So yeah, if anyone is in that place where you're kind of struggling with holding your needles, or what some people need to get used to is both, wrapping the yarn while also holding your needles and things like that. And so that's a good way, it's just another thing to try if you're somebody who is maybe not ready to completely tension your yarn yet, but is getting the, motions down and learning the stitches and everything. It's a really good way to try. So you don't have to throw with your right hand. I was taught that way, and I'm not sure it ever occurred to me to throw with my left hand. Maybe I would, but now I knit continental. So, I mean, in my mind, I'm sitting there going, maybe I would have done that if it ever even occurred to me to do. But the interesting part of it is that you and everyone else I've now seen do it, they just do it.
It was just
they don't go, can I do this? Or this, they just do it. And I'm like,
exactly.
Oh, this is great. Most of the time when I start showing people, I show them throwing with the right hand. Again, it's just it's how I learned. It's what I mostly see, but I think it's so cool that it's it's
English with a twist.
That's right. There we go. Yes, but you don't twist your stitches doing it. You don't create twisted stitches.
No twisted stitches. So it's English with a Courtney flair.
That's right. A flair. That's good. That's good. So I will show you guys what I'm currently working on. Oh, and I wanted to show you my window mirror too, which now I'm not positive where I put. It was in theme with. Oh, thank you. It matched the chair. It's in theme with our little 80s, bringing back the 80s. So started this beautiful sweater, the Windermere. This was actually our first knit along of the year. Loved the color, wanted a butter yellow sweater. And some way or another, when we were traveling, like a skein of yarn fell out of my bag, and it was just, it was gone. And so I had said, I had reached out to the dyers and said, is there a way to get another skein of this? And they were like, yes, but it would have to be spun and then dyed. And I was like, okay. That's really nice, but I don't know if I want to wait a month. I was really close to finishing the sweater. So I got creative because I had some of their yarn in other colors, and I decided to do a push pop sleeve.
Yes, this is what we call a happy accident, right? So I think that actually this looks even better.
Everybody loves it. I mean, whenever I wear it, people are like, oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I really do like it. So, but it reminds me of a peach push pop. If you were to have some kind of a peach push pop, so good, in line with bringing back the 80s. Maybe that was a 90s thing. I don't know. I'm sure I was having push pops in the 90s, but yeah, it reminds me very much of a push pop, but I love it. So it allowed me to finish the sweater, and it was the same. So it's still the same yarn. It's Red Hill Fibers Rambouillet. Actually, so the darker pink and the yellow are actually a worsted weight. The orange color, almost dreamsicle color, is actually a DK weight, but I went down a needle size, and I don't really think, yes, there are decreases and stuff, but I don't really think you can tell a difference in the gauge of it. So I was really, really happy with how it turned out.
Beautiful. Would you consider this a good beginner project, or maybe?
Good question.
Yeah, so something a little more advanced for people.
It is.
It's not on my project list just yet, folks, but maybe next year.
Probably a good choice. It's a beautiful sweater. I did make, and I would like to talk about this on a later podcast, but because it's not really our theme today, I made a lot of alterations to the sweater in the way it fits. So a lot of people have said, if you're going to consider making the sweater, a lot of people have said that their yoke it's really a lot longer. So I cut out several repeats and several stitches and made the entire thing just a whole lot smaller than what it was meant to be, because I didn't want it to be a tent. So it's a beautiful sweater, but it was designed with maybe something like 12 inches of intended positive ease. And that didn't, for something that's already really kind of heavy with the way that the stitch pattern is, I didn't want it to be both heavy and really, really oversized. So I made a lot of alterations. I'm thrilled with the fit of it.
Super cute.
If it's something you're considering making, there are short rows where you end up knitting one below on some of them, but mostly it's a purl one below situation. So it's like a half fisherman's rib. And I actually I have to show you this. I love the way the inside of the sweater looks. There was a part of me that was like, oh, if I had
kind of like both sides, right?
Sleeves. Well, if I had picked up the sleeves differently, because there is a seam, but I love the way that the
it's beautiful
fabric on the inside looks. So this is the inside of the sweater, and I mean, if the collar and the sleeves didn't have a seam, I think the inside of the sweater would be beautiful as well. So yes, it was a fun make. I thought it went pretty fast. Not everyone felt that way, but it's just such a large gauge that for that reason in particular, I felt like it went fast. Plus, I made it a lot smaller than intended. So when you do that, it's going to go a little bit faster. But one of the things, and I had these on that sweater, and now I have them on the new sweater that I'm making, which I will show you, is I loved Rainbow Bright when I was little. So that's my Rainbow Bright made in the 80s. Those are my stitch stoppers from Coma Craft Co. And they make me really, really happy. And I felt like they very much matched my Push Pop Windermere. And now I am making...
Kate and I are very much into fun stoppers, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah. To me, it just is important in being able to look down and either see a theme or something that makes you laugh, right?
Every time.
If you're looking for really good ones, Kate's place is the place to come. So I have plenty, not out of need, but out of necessity to smile, I guess.
Yes, we both have the ones that say,
everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
That's not a reflection at all of what our lives are like.
No. But yes, they make me smile every time I look at them. And then I think Leeza has one that says, like, I run on true crime and coffee, and those Golden Girls.
Yes, I was going to say the Golden Girls one. A lot of people like that. And that goes perfect with our 80s theme as well. Maybe more 90s, but
yes, we're bringing back the late.
That's
1900s.
right. Oh gosh, we're dating ourselves here.
So I am making, and I'll have to post this because I'm honestly forgetting who the designer is, but I am making the saguaro cardigan right now. It's not very, very far along right now. So like the cactus, if you can picture that. I don't know that you can really even see very much of it yet to see how the pattern, it's kind of a broken brioche pattern.
Beautiful.
But it is the second time recently. The first one was Augustin's number 4, the bow sweater. It's the second time recently that I have used a Judy's Magic cast on to do a folded collar. And I think that will now be my chosen cast on for folded collars. Although in the other sweater I did, it was in the round. And so it was a little bit different. This one is flat, being a cardigan. And I wasn't picturing in my mind as I was doing it to mind the laddering of the magic loop, because it's kind of a magic loop situation. And so I feel like I could have had slightly less. It's not bad, but I could have had slightly less laddering than I did on those edges if I had just conceptually envisioned what I was doing.
So is this a cardigan with buttons or no buttons?
It will be 7 buttons, and I've got some pretty ones. I'll go grab them.
Yeah, let's see what kind of buttons we can put on it. I think that's like the perfect finishing touch on a cardigan, is a beautiful button.
I've got little black with a white pearl in the middle, little flowers. So yes, because I think I'm intending to wear it a bit dressy. So it's got the pretty little buttons. I think it calls for 7. Pretty sure it said. So I think those will be the perfect size, and I think they're very on theme. I think I'm definitely meaning it. So I'm using the La Bienami. It's behind me. Cashmerino. So in that color, and I'm intending to wear it with the black pants I'm wearing, and then something white underneath it. So it's definitely, with the cashmere and everything, intended to be a bit dressier. And I think your rocket tee is intended to be a little bit dressier.
And I think depending on like the coloring, I think when you're using like more solid colors, I think it tends to be a little dressier, maybe a little more casual in like the striped version. But this I picked because I think it can be dressier, and it's got a little bit of fleck of that shimmer. The shimmer in that, which I think also dressed up the rocket tee. So
it does.
That's why I picked it out.
And this one has that shimmer too. So this Courtney's second Rocket Tea, and then my Room to Bloom. So I held two together for this, and it is the Wild Sage Wool fingering, and mine is in, I don't know, petal or something like that. Yours is in like cocoa.
Yeah, this
something.
one is fingering weight as well, and this came from the Wild Sage Wool. The cocoa, cocoa swirl, and it has a nice variegation to the color in it too. So it's not like a flat solid, which I love that about the yarn, and the fact that this is a beautiful hand dyed yarn is that it's got that kind of, you know, variegation throughout the yarn color.
It's so pretty. But yeah, it's just got a subtle sparkle to it. So you can't even tell with mine that it has a sparkle, but it does. And then the other yarn is Alex in, oh gosh, LBA Alex, but I can't remember the name of the color. I'll have to, it's behind me somewhere. I'll have to tell you guys. I'll grab it. Let me see. It is LBA Alex. So it's got some alpaca in it, and it is, Dawn. Dawn is the color. So it's funny to me.
Perfect 80s name.
That's right. Oh, yeah. So it was interesting to me to see, and this happened with a couple of different colors. So it was interesting to me to see like Wild Sage had colors that were almost identical to LBA. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can put these together. So Sansa is a color I've used from LBA before, and Alex as well, to make a shawl that you guys had seen from last spring. Mm-hmm. And I have leftover of that. And so I was pairing that with one of the Wild Sage yarns. So my embroidery on the Room to Bloom will be that color. So the Sansa and LBA held with the Wild Sage, and that's what I did all the swatches in. So I thought it was interesting, the overlap in a couple of the colors. I was like, oh my gosh, they're really similar and they pair, but they're different enough to make them just kind of interesting when you put them together.
Yep.
And
give a little bit of texture to it. Yeah,
it does. So it's not just, it's a solid color, but it's got a little bit of interest in it. And I like that it's not just, you know, one
not a flat look.
Not totally flat enough to be interesting. So, well, I would love to give you guys a tour of the new space. I'm really excited to show it to you.
And lots of new yarns since you moved in here. So not only did the size of the store explode, but the choices and the beautiful colors also exploded with it. So.
Minus the 300 skeins that UPS has lost.
But that's okay. That just means it's coming. But it is, you just walk in, it's just a beautiful sea of color now. And it's just absolutely stunning in here. Kate's done a wonderful job with this new store.
I'm hoping about, oh gosh, it's probably more than 200. Yeah. So I'm hoping about 200 skeins show up maybe on Tuesday that somehow got delayed. It's really fascinating to me how UPS can receive 2 boxes and one vanishes into thin air when received at the same time as the other box. So that's been really fun.
And what kind of yarn will be coming then? So the preview.
I'm hoping that in a few days, 200 more skeins from Madeline Tosh are coming, and it will be some woolen cotton, some DK, some worsted weight from Madeline Tosh. So fingers crossed that actually shows up as it says it might on Tuesday.
Fun.
But 150 skeins of hedgehog fibers vanished into thin air after it cleared customs, and I paid tariffs on it. So that's great too. So that won't be here until after the 1st of April. It was supposed to be here 2 weeks ago.
That's okay. It just means like the surprises and the good things just keep on coming.
So many good colors coming. So it was a lot. I mean, it was, you know, more than 60% of the order that was lost. And it was a lot of great bases of different things that I'm bringing in from Hedgehog. So more DK.
That's okay. We're finishing up our winter products right now, and we'll then be able something to look forward to, right?
Yes. So coming soon. Unfortunately, yarn people were actually waiting on was part of what was lost too. So we're figuring that out, but it should be here next week. So anyway, don't mind the gaps on the walls is why I'm telling you that, because there's still some gaps from things that are in transit. We're not in transit because they vanished, but those gaps will be filled at some point. So come with me and see the store. And thank you so much to Courtney for bringing back the 80s.
Let's not talk about my age and how it relates to the 80s, but I love the 80s. I love the store, and I just think working with Kate and all the people that she has attracted to the store is just amazing. So thanks for letting me be a little bit a part of it.
We should tell them how we
I met. Yeah. So in Kate's old store, I was sitting outside the store and kind of scared her as I was drinking my coffee, and I had no idea what I was sitting in front of. And then 3 hours later, I'd never knitted in my life, and I'd been recruited to become a knitter. So
we did. We didn't know why you.
Yeah. A year later, I am still here and learning and loving it. So if you've ever thought about picking up a craft and doing something with fiber arts, Kate's your gal, and so is Over the Next Row Knits.
And everyone that we have recruited who is sitting on our board, so just be careful who's board.
That's right. You never know what it'll lead to.
A somewhat expensive hobby.
Yes, that's okay. Okay, I love it.
Well, we love
money well spent.
Yes, and good friends. So
yeah, exactly.
That's the best part.
Yeah,
for sure. And all the pretty things that we get to wear.
Exactly.
Yeah. And make to wear. And yes. All right. Well, let's go show you around the store. So grabbing the phone. Okay. So as you can see, same wall, different stores. So lots of LBA that I got in very recently. Thankfully, all of that made it. It did not manage to get lost. So lots of LBA, and very excited because so Harrisville Designs, if y'all know them, I will be very shortly ordering their Daylights and Nightshades, which is their DK. So right now I have their Shetland and their Highland, so fingering and worsted, and then I'll be getting their DK in shortly. And then our beautiful, well, there's some sale yarn and our beautiful needle wall. So we used to have this teeny tiny little space for needles, and now we have a whole wall. And over here are some custom shelves that I had built for our Gepard and our Knitting for Olive. I've got so much new Knitting for Olive in, although it seems to be disappearing daily because it's being purchased. Still have my Rowan. I've got some more Rowan over here. And then if you walk up front, we've got some fun gifty things. I love Liberty of London fabric. That's a fun fact about me. Oh, we're doing a fission knitting class coming up. So that's some samples for that. And then our big, awesome neon sign with our picture frame in the middle. And if you come over here, this is Fleece Witherspoon the sheep. She is displaying some of our beginner projects from this year. And she sits in our window by We Love Yarn. And I've got some more fun Liberty stuff and some Woobles kits over here, some punch embroidery kits. Oh, and more 90s. This is some 90s here. So the lizard keychains, if y'all remember those, I was so excited that Coma Craft Co. had the lizards because I remember doing those as a kid, and that brought me a lot of joy when I saw that on Coma Craft Co. So a Chauncey bag, you can see those there, some pretty ones, and more coming. And then this is what used to be on the side wall at the old store. So some of our indie dyers, our Ba, our Manos, our Chelsea, and then a whole lot of space where more Hedgehog and Madeline Tosh will, I hope, be shortly. And then we've got, you can kind of see the room back there. And then I will walk you outside so you can actually see the storefront. So if you're visiting, you know where and how to find us. So we are coming outside, and this is what you will see. So that is our storefront. This right here is Norton Commons Boulevard. It's very, very icky out today, but you can see kind of what you'll see around us. So if you're ever coming to visit, that's what you're going to see. There's parking right on the street. There's parking behind the building and parking actually behind the other set of buildings just right over there. There's restaurants all over in walking distance at the town square. You can kind of just see it beyond us. So right there is the town square. So you can also just park in the town square and visit any of those restaurants and then walk right over to the shop. So we're really excited to be back, and we can't wait to have Leeza back with us next week. But we wanted to at least get an episode out there and show you guys our new space. So cheers.